Unless you hang around some really, really early bird people out there, I want to be the very first person today to say TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. I hope that's before too long. I hope the issues that I'm having with this blankety by brilliant people and then infiltrated representing none other than Satan himself can be.
Thing I've got to say is I hope you get it fixed soon. Gee.
I think we figured out something. I think we did.
We know the direction of where the problem lies.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, getting to it at this point in time, we knew where, generally speaking, a guy named Osama bin Laden was hiding for quite some period of time. But it took a long time to get in there, root him out, and send him to see Davy Jones.
It won't take that long to root this out.
Just send out a serious threat to someone in the FBI. I'll come in and scrub it for you.
Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Chris Marks.
And I'm Lee
It
Barrows.
brings up this story about this guy who was trying to get stuff done in his yard, and he was having all sorts of problems. So he let the word leak that he had buried some bodies in his yard, in a location in his yard, certain plot out there.
That's a problem.
Well, they came and dug it up for him. He said, "Thank you. I was trying to figure out how I was going to get my garden started." So there was nothing there.
That gives me a thought. Well, you heard about what former FBI Director James Comey did. He arranged some seashells on the beach where he was at, and it said 8647. He's now under investigation by the FBI because 86 means murder, and 47.
Where does it mean murder?
Of course, well, it's just
U.S. code or something?
And 47 is in reference to the president, and he put that on his Instagram account, a picture of it.
But there's certain things that I would not do.
It's slang. 86 is slang for removing someone, and 47, of course, we know is attributed to the president. And he's kind of claiming, oh, well, I didn't really mean anything about it. I didn't think people would look at it that way, and blah, blah. Yes, you did. You know, he deleted the post.
Nice move.
Too late now.
Yeah.
Well, there's some information about I know who he really was, I know his real name, and I know where the stuff that he jumped out of that airplane is. I know where it is, and it's hidden in my computer. Are y'all willing to come look for it?
Please. I think your computer
While
needs to
you're
be
there,
scrubbed.
clean up everything and make it like it used to be. It didn't take them long.
I have no clue.
Yes, sir. Good morning. How are you?
Hey guys, are you guys going to talk about the 8647?
We just did.
Hike. I mean, Lee just brought it up, Charlie.
I love how you know my name. That's so cool.
Well, I mean, I listen to your voice. It's
Yeah.
kind of distinct, though. I know who you are. We all know who you are.
Yeah, but the fact that your co-host knew my name, that actually is kind of impressive. He's like, I know who this idiot is.
No, I didn't say no, not idiot. Charlie, I actually, I think you're very bright, intelligent, and very talented with your voices, gentlemen. I thought that before.
Yeah, I've got a lot of issues. Hey, but listen.
Yes.
I want to dominate your show. I'm absolutely fascinated by this.
But 8647?
No, 8657.
47.
47.
86,
Yeah.
47. Okay, I apologize. Everybody knows that term. This guy was the general. He was the CEO. He knew everything. Everybody knows what 86 means. What are the odds of this fella walking along the beach, skip-a-dee-doo-dah, skip-a-dee-doo-dah, What's that?
You're talking about Biden now, Skippy.
What's that?
I said,
what are those words? Hold on. Let me put on my spectacles. This is ridiculous. What am I missing?
I don't know. When I miss something, that's usually the X ring, and then I have to go back and qualify again. But I'll try to qualify again. I haven't qualified on
He was the FBI director.
He was a political hack. He was a political appointee. He doesn't know anything about anything, to be
Well, I see
absolutely
Charlie's
honest with
point,
you.
though. He was an FBI director.
So what?
Yeah, I mean,
Shall we
shouldn't
go
you
down the
know
list?
better than to post a picture of that on your Instagram?
Can I say one thing?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Can I
Charlie.
say one thing about him that I actually admired about him?
he left.
No. Remember? Hold on. I'm a little intoxicated, but remember when Hillary Clinton, something happened to her before she was going against Trump. He filed some sort of investigation over her.
Yes.
What was it? It had something to do with. Does that ring a bell?
Maybe the
He basically put her on the
$500,000.
hot seat.
Maybe the $500,000 in jewelry she received as a gift.
Something about what he did to her horribly hurt her campaign. I forgot what it was, but seriously.
Yeah, I remember. So I know what
it-
you're talking about. He did it on the like the beginning of October, mid-October, before the
Right.
November
No.
election.
It was the private emails
Yes,
and
yes,
things
yes,
that
yes.
she
Yeah,
leaked.
but
Using
something-
their personal
something
email
really
addresses.
hurt-
Yeah.
Something really it slammed her campaign. So listen, obviously the guy is probably I still don't get it. When you're walking down the beach, when is the last time any of you guys have seen 4 numbers anywhere? When's the last time you saw 3 numbers anywhere? It's just so disturbing.
The guy's playing with everybody's mind, and he can just say it's just 4 numbers, 4 digits out there. You random order 4 digits. Who's can make anything out of that? But I'm seriously, what would you think about it? If I'm in his shoes, that's what I would say. Y'all are just so paranoid.
Mhm.
All of y'all are so paranoid. You just can't get me out of your heads, can you? And I'm in there, and I'm going to mess with you. That's all he's got to say.
Yeah, but I'm going to call you guys back in a little bit. I'm going to watch the show, maybe throw some stuff up in chat. It just doesn't make any sense. The fact that he put that in his mind and he said, listen, I'm going to put these letters and these words in a formation. I'm going to take a picture of it, and then I'm going to post it online. And I'm the past director of the FBI, and they're going to think, wow, what are the odds of this? It doesn't make any sense. I'm convinced. It truly, listen, what am I missing? What am I missing?
Charlie, it's not what you're missing; it's what he's missing.
Yeah, we're all so looking for something, and he is like, watch me make those fools chase their tails. You've done it with your dog before. You've played with your dog to make him do funny things, haven't you? Haven't you done strange things to a significant other of yours at some point in time? I know the man to my left has. We've all done funny things. Like you takes a cup that is supposed to be in a certain place, and you move it somewhere else, and the other person is looking for, what did you do that for? Why'd you move that cup?
That
It
just
makes
makes
them
me
start
crazy.
thinking and wondering about what I'm up to. Duh. And then she's payback time because she gets
all
even
human
with me.
beings- no. All human beings are corrupt,
Yeah.
but there's a level of corruption that you want to hide. Why would you put those shells on the beach? I'm serious. Listen, maybe he's not a monster. The whole thing is just bizarre.
Have
to
you
me.
ever seen any pictures, any of the letters HELP written? Somebody writes them and then just
Yes.
walk on down the beach for no reason except
What,
to cause people to ask questions. HELP, help,
You said H?
help.
Okay, help. Okay, so what are you implying? What does that mean? What are you
People
implying?
do all sorts of funny things that they think are funny. Sometimes it
No,
launches
no.
massive
No.
investigations. Now, I want you to write these 3 little things down, and I want you to put them. I want you to put down three dots, dot, 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 and then three dashes, dash, 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 and then three dots, dot, dot, dot. And I want you to go to the beach sometime and put those out there on the beach. Dot, 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 dash, 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 dot, dot, dot. Okay? That means SOS in Morse code. Just put them down there and see what kind of news coverage you get out of it. Somebody is going to make something of it.
Hey, speaking of racism, have you guys broached
Speaking of
the subject
racism? Good morning. I just got here.
No. Have you guys broached the subject of the South Africans that are being killed, basically being slaughtered with no, they have no care for their lives, and they're coming to America, and the Democrats are like, we're not sure we want you here.
Yeah, we talked about that. You mentioned it the other day too. So we've talked about it.
It's really
yes,
bad.
it's unfortunate.
I want to get off the phone.
Okay.
I'm going to put a link in there of all the crosses of all the thousands of whites that have been killed in Africa. Nothing. It's miles and miles of crosses. Nobody's talking about it. And it's really bizarre. For the 20 million people that have entered this country illegally in the last, 5 or 6 years, they weren't being killed in their country. They had economic, unfortunate type situations. If a populace is being killed, regardless of their skin color, we got to take them in. Anyway, I'm going to watch your show. Have a good day.
All right, Charlie.
Bye.
Talk to you later.
There are things that are little things that you should do and should not do that will, if you're in a theater sometime and you think it would be funny to walk into the theater where it's dark and everybody's there and you scream fire. People, first of all, it's illegal and people are going to come down on you. If you don't get trampled first, they're going to take you to jail. But so those kinds of things are illegal. If you walk up the airplane steps and there's a friend of yours up there who happens to be the pilot and his name is Jack Ripper, and you say, "Hi, Jack," you got a problem. Okay, that's going to be a problem for you. If you are, as I discussed it one day, not long ago, maybe yesterday, I don't know, in the television news business, and you assign a reporter and a photographer, and I tell the photographer, make sure you shoot the president when you get, it's like, no, you just don't do things like that. But it is under normal conditions. I get out there and shoot that wreck. Go get good shots of that fire. Shoot this or shoot that. But just don't include the word president in it. You're okay. You understand. People will misinterpret a lot of stuff and then sometimes interpret it because somebody wants them to misinterpret it intentionally with malice aforethought. Got it?
Well, Comey just opened the door for his computer to be scraped.
He's probably scrubbed it already, or maybe
they're going to scrub that computer.
Or maybe he's put a couple of things in there. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll go in there and put a few little things in mine to, let's say, get somebody talking.
Well, the Secret Service
It wouldn't be the first time.
The Secret Services are fully aware of his Instagram post, and they take his rhetoric very seriously. And so,
if it was a Democrat president, they would not, because.
But you know what? Why do something so dumb?
Payback.
Why?
Payback. He's frustrated.
You better rehome your cell phone, rehome your computer. Take those SIM cards out and throw them in the dumpster on a military base.
If he had
He's just dumb. That is so dumb. So dumb.
All right. Other than my endless complaints about my computer, I'll say that the weather is looking pretty decent right now.
Oh, weather. Okay.
A little more. I'm not doing weather yet. Well, I guess I could. A little more wet stuff yesterday we had.
Yes.
Not much. I mean, it just didn't even record anything here, though I was standing out in it and I said, okay, we got a little water, and then it quit.
I got 0.10, a tenth of an inch.
I didn't get that much.
I didn't get any.
I didn't get any that was measurable, as they say. It didn't even register on the gauge over here, so I'm good. Thankfully, the water we got earlier this week was pretty decent, good enough to hydrate my meager garden out there.
Right, mine looks good.
And put a couple more plants in it yesterday, and I planted them over the body that I buried there last year. The body was a fish. It was the remains of a red drum. I put it down there deep in the
His computer hard drive was in there
that's what you
too.
do. Yeah.
His computer
Not-
hard drive.
No, that thing will never disintegrate. Have you ever tried to drill? You know,
No.
I don't want to take hard drives and just send them to the dump or whatever,
Yeah.
right? They don't ever go away.
Mm-mm.
Have you? They tell you. I read somewhere like that, probably on the internet. To destroy it, drill it, drill a hole through it. I wore out 2 bits trying to get one hole through a hard drive. I never had anything that hard to drill in my life.
I
had a
just
drill
took mine.
press. Bzzz.
Rayford, take it to the range.
Well, that's what I did for one of them, but they don't like it. The range scattering that stuff everywhere. I had suggested that as having a frustration day at the range. Let the range, we get a sponsor,
Yeah.
and just bring all your hard drive crap out there and start shooting it. But
I
they don't
like
like that
it.
because it gets scattered and the
Oh.
debris,
I like it.
the shrapnel goes everywhere. Whatever. Oh well, we'll look at it. Okay, we'll continue, no doubt, today the discussion that we jumped into yesterday with both feet about the Onslow County Volunteer Fire Departments.
Huey.
Seems like some of the stuff we've heard and a lot of the stuff all of us have read may not be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Still offering to arbitrate.
So I don't know.
Arbitration's over.
Lee,
Is it?
well,
I mean,
it's over for the moment.
Mhm.
Let's just put it that way. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. We'll be talking about that this morning too.
Yes.
First, the body recovered earlier this week in the waters at Hammocks Beach State Park is that of a Jacksonville man, 34-year-old Joseph Michael Marshall Edwards. His body was found in shallow water about 100 yards or so from the banks of the island. It's on the intercoastal waterway side. The detectives say there was no visible signs of evidence and foul play is not suspected. However, they do have an investigation ongoing. Earlier reports are that Mr. Edwards was seen on surveillance video in Swansboro on Sunday. If you have information that could assist the detectives in this case, any background information or you know anything about where Mr. Edwards was like Sunday or anything that could help them put some closure to this, please give them a call. 910-455-3113. That's the Onslow County Sheriff's Office. If you prefer to keep your mouth shut, to keep your name out of the media and out of everywhere, look at Chris's chest, okay? That's probably the only time I will ever say that. You can call Crime Stoppers, 910-938-3273. 910-938-3273. Our deepest condolences to the family and the friends
Absolutely.
of Joseph Michael Marshall Edwards. I didn't find any information about him anywhere of anything, so just don't know. It's one of those things. The island is not right around the corner, but it is sort of a long ways around the corner from Swansboro.
Mhm.
Tides move in, tides move out. Currents are very strong at times, especially around the intercoastal waterway. So I don't know what happened, when it happened. I don't know where it started. We do know where it ended up, unfortunately. So, well, so much for that. Okay, let's do a little bit of weather. Weather. Sloppy. That's one way of describing the weather. The weather for the last few days. Today, off 20 nautical miles. Wind's going to be out of the southwest. They've kicked up just a little bit, 10 to 15 knots, seas 3 to 4 feet every 6 seconds. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop. Your boats will handle 4-footers every 6 seconds. Not too much problem if you got the right boat and the right skipper. All of the issues are going to be trying to get through the inlet. And then old time skipper told me way back when I first started in this crap, you can pretty much always get through the inlet as long as it's halfway decent. And it might be a little bouncy for you going out. Your problem is going to be coming back into that inlet because you're going to have all those big around a little bit. You're going to have those trying to come into the back end of your boat as you come through the inlet.
been there.
Been there, got a t-shirt, don't like it. It was all wet. All right. So if you don't know your boat and you're not really experienced, take somebody with you who is. All right. Tomorrow, southwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots. They're even picking up more, increasing to 20 to 25 in the afternoon. 3 to 5 footers every 5 seconds. They're getting closer together. Choppier. Sounds and rivers choppy, increasing to rough in the afternoon tomorrow. Sunday, westerly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop. And while I'm talking about that, you can go out in the morning and the water is going to be okay. You can get out through the inlet. You may go out on high tide, so there's plenty of water to get through that inlet. You might come back 6 or 8 hours later, 9 hours later. Tide's gone. The water's not there. We have shallow draft inlets. The reason they're called shallow draft inlets is because on low tide, sometimes there are more islands out there than there is water. So you got to know the channel. You got to know how bad things can be on your way back in. Weather can change a lot. Afternoon showers and thunderstorms can make those waves really, really sloppy. Y'all who go there, you know it. You just got to know what not to do. Okay? Got it. Your turn.
Okay, today, mostly sunny with a high near 94. Southwest wind 5 to 7 miles per hour. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 71. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 92. And Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 88. I had to go back.
You got attacked by a phone.
Yeah, I did.
I went back and double checked what I had copied and pasted. I'm like 94.
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
I love
I
it.
knew yesterday we were
Got no
talking
problem with
90 and now it's 90, but it was 94.
Ladies, you will be glistening. You and I are going to be sweating. And that's good for the pores. Once you do all that, you come in, take a cold shower or cooler shower, and it really is invigorating. Got it? Gotcha. I never was a fan of Jerry Seinfeld show. When I look at it today, these days, look at it, it's funny to me now. I have that sense of humor. But in the day, I just did not. It wasn't one of my tune-in channels like it was for 98.6% of the people in the country. But Mr. Seinfeld is funny. He's interesting. He was leaving a New York Knicks game over the weekend, and some anti-Israel hecklers confronted him. He's wearing a Knicks hat. He likes the Knicks. He took it in stride and laughed in the protester's face as she accused him of supporting the genocide of babies in Gaza. A video posted on the Palestinian Assembly for Liberation's Instagram page shows Seinfeld heading to his car as someone off camera began shouting at him, "If you, Jerry Seinfeld, free Palestine! You support the genocide of babies in Gaza." Seinfeld began laughing. That's kind of like when somebody walks up and flashes a lady and you just start pointing and start laughing instead of running away. That's disheartening. Yeah. He started laughing at her and responded by saying, "Only you." That's all he said. Then she continued shouting at him. This lady protester, I use the term loosely, called him a rabid effing dog. Seinfeld has been open about his support for Israel for many years and became even more vocal after that October 7th event a couple of years ago when Hamas killed a lot of civilians, captured a lot of civilians. Just days after the brutal attack, Seinfeld joined a group of over 2,000 leaders in the entertainment industry signing a letter supporting Israel. Good for Jerry. Stand up for what you believe. I don't care whether you believe something else, but stand up for what you believe. I think that was cool.
Well, good for him. I saw that
Can you
news
imagine
story.
me reacting to somebody like that?
They showed a video of him just laughing right in their faces. Yeah, right. But what gives you the right to get in my face and tell me, like they did him? What gives you that right?
It's an invasion of my space, and you really don't want to do that because when you get too close to me and you're too vocal, I consider it a threat. And when I consider a threat as you approach me, you're not going to go in really ugly.
The protesters posted the video on the Palestinian Assembly for Liberation's Instagram page. Yeah. Instagram's getting a lot of hits lately.
They are.
First Comey. I can't get over that one.
That's hilarious.
I'm just like,
Laugh it off, people. Yes, you should do an investigation, because if you don't do an investigation, somebody's going to say, you just don't care about Trump, do you? No, you do the investigation and you look at it and you go over and you send an agent over. Hey, James, listen, Bubba. What were you thinking? Let's get into your head very quickly here. I want to talk to you. And most decent agents these days will talk to somebody and say, he's working down there and he knew what he was doing, but he didn't have any ill intent, no real ill intent. So I just wanted to make some news. I figured he could do that.
I think this lady did down in, actually it was in Ohio.
Oh,
She got pulled over for speeding.
yeah.
53 and a 35. And the officer had all of them had their cams going.
Yeah.
She had her cell phone going, and they asked for your driver's license and proof of insurance.
So I have to give it to you. I'm a sovereign citizen.
oh, don't.
Actually,
start.
she did that route to the point they had to bust her window. They said, look, this is your
No
last
problem.
warning.
That's what that sticks
Roll
for.
your window down. I'm going to bust your window. They did.
Yeah.
They arrested her. And then this is just a traffic ticket. She had her car towed while she is.
And let me explain something, y'all. You think that when the cops tow your car because you've done something stupid, they don't need a search warrant at that point in time, because they have to conduct what is called inventory of everything anywhere in that car, because they don't want to say, the courts have upheld they can do this, because once they give it back to you and you can say, oh, you planted some dope in my car, didn't you? No, we didn't, because we took some dope out of your car. We took everything that was in there out, and you're responsible for it. Now come on down here. We want to talk to you. That's the reason it's done. So if you got stuff in your car, don't get stupid, because you're going to pay.
Here's her. Okay, the epitome of stupidity in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
She asked to look at their radar, the radar gun.
Bless your heart.
She asked for a supervisor.
Oh, that's twice. You'll meet him at the station. Don't worry about it. Come on.
What a waste. And someone and the tow truck driver said, I really feel bad for the other citizens, because it's taken you 4 police officers
That's
for
right.
this one person that's acting like an idiot.
Sidebar a little bit on that. I had that statement because I was familiar with a particular high school in Jacksonville. I mean, in Wilmington, because my daughter went there, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
there were, I want to say, 1,200 students, maybe about, let's just say 1,200 students in that high school. The teachers, in some of the conversations I was having, because my daughter was there with teachers, with the principal, who I got to know over the years, he says, we got a group, a very small group. We get a bad rep because of this very small group of people, about 50 at the max. I said, so what you're telling me, you tell me when I'm wrong, is that 50 out of the 1,200 students in this school are taking up the times of the teachers, and they're taking up all of this time away from the other 1,100 students in the school, 1,000 or 1,150 students in the school. They're taking up majority of their time. How much time do you think that they take up of those teachers, all the teachers? He said about 50 to 60% per day. I said, okay, then kick them out. Send them to another place to let them find some prison guards and let the prison guards teach them. That's all. That was my solution.
Mm-hmm.
Eliminate. I got a garden out here, and when I find some of those little critters in there, you know what I do with them? I'll stomp them.
What?
Stumps them.
Bad things that eat my garden or try to eat my garden, you kill it, right? You get rid of it. You eradicate
You
it.
86'd them?
All
You are
47
over
of
that
them.
one,
I 86 to all 47
I
of them.
just find this story hilarious. I'm sorry. Yeah, 86 the
37.
bugs. Okay.
You didn't even hear what I said.
What did you say?
I said I 86 to all 47 of them.
Oh. You're really going to get that computer fixed soon, aren't you?
It's in my hard drive here, y'all. It's not in the.
Oh,
It's in the data hard drive. Don't look in the
Okay.
data hard drive. Oh, God, but Jesus.
I think it's Charlie calling back.
It's not in the other hard drive. Well, you know what hard drive they're gonna go to, right?
Oh yeah.
So, I'm helping you out. Save some time.
Okay.
Is this Charlie again? Did you say?
That's Charlie, I believe.
Mr. Charles.
So I want to ask you a question about
Yes.
the students that were probably not best suited for the school. Okay.
Yeah, they were teenagers.
What was the predominant race of those kids?
I have no clue. I didn't ask, didn't care. Seriously, I don't, because I mean the school was made up. Typically, probably 12 to 15% was going to be African American, because it was fairly well significant across the board.
Do you think that a large group of those individuals were probably black?
In this particular case, I'm going to say, if I were to guess, I would say no. The reason I would say no is because somebody would have brought that up at some point in time. I think these were the privileged youngsters out there. They thought they could get away with anything out there. They were also likely the dopers of the time, and this was in the 80s.
So I caught the last of this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, hold on. So I have two very wild perspectives. Were they wealthy white kids or were they minority black kids?
I'm not going to say they were wealthy, because that never popped up. Being minority never popped up. So I'm going to say they're pretty much a cross-reference. But chances are they were the ones who thought that they were better than everybody else, whether they were or not financially, or whether their parents were. No kid is better than anybody else, but the parents may think that they're better because they got money. I don't know that. That never came up.
All right. You know what? Okay. So listen, I wasn't watching your show to grasp this. I've got two very wild perspectives on this. If they were black, I would have one perspective. They were self-entitled whites, I would have another perspective. So, like I said, I didn't watch enough of your guys' show. So I'm going to keep on listening, and maybe I'll call back.
Hey, Charlie, I think the key for all 50 of them, troublemakers.
Yeah,
That's it. Troublemakers.
They enjoy being
But
troublemakers.
I'm trying to figure out if there was a racial component to those troublemakers.
If there had been, I am absolutely sure that I would have heard about it. That never came up. My daughter was in that school.
Are there a chance that 100% of them were white?
100%? I don't ever say anything 100%.
No, there's nothing 100%.
No, so I don't know. I don't know.
No, I'm not trying to get at anything. I just tuned in the last second.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah.
They were little troublemakers,
No,
little brats that just needed to have their rear ends worn out, and somebody failed to do it at the right time.
Hey, you guys, can I ask you guys a question? I was talking to a friend of mine earlier about North Carolina and South Carolina. I don't live on your coast of the world. Is one? This is an odd question. Is one state more? I'm going to use the word racist than the other. If you had to say one is more racist than the other,
I think so. I believe it's. I think one is. It's New York. No, seriously. You think I'm kidding there. I think there's more of a division in the races in the city of New York than there is in any place in the South. So honestly, you go to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, you go to New Orleans, you go to Columbia, South Carolina, you're going to find some old school people in all of these southern states that are going to be looking back and looking at what they call the good old days of yesteryear, whatever. But you find people getting along in the South with everybody else a whole lot better than you do in New York City.
I totally agree. I always, you know what, I get a kick out of listen, there's probably somebody that lives way up in the mountains, and he's got like a KKK flag, and the news are like obsessed about that. And the people that live in the town below him are like, no, we're not like that. Yeah. We're just like normal people. We like Mexicans, we like blacks, we like Jews. These are just some lunatic that lives up in the mountains.
You're going to find, it's just like with a bad cop. When you find a bad cop somewhere, do not paint everybody with that color of bad. You're going to find a bad, I'm sorry, Chris, this may shock you, being a good Catholic that you are. There are bad priests out there, okay? So that's just the way it is.
Bad what?
Bad priests. There are bad teachers. There are bad this. But the majority of the people are good.
No. Here's what it is. There are bad Palestinians. There are bad Muslims. There are bad Catholics. There are bad Jews. There are bad cops. There are bad blacks. There are bad whites. There are bad Democrats. There are bad Republicans. Human beings are bad. There are bad human beings and there are good human beings.
Some of them are bad.
I mean, all of us have an element of, in our past, an element of something. We've all done something bad in our past.
Yeah.
Every last one of us.
Like blowing up stuff. I had a good time doing that as a kid.
No, I took bread from a grocery store. I took candy bars.
Oh, I didn't do that.
I'm going to watch the show.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
And we do have another caller. Do we know who it is? We'll find out right now. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, hey, good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine. Who's this?
Good morning.
Hey, this is Jeremiah from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Jeremiah from Pennsylvania. There are no bad people in Pennsylvania.
Hey, it's doing good up here. Hey, my representative is Scott Perry, Republican.
Okay.
Member of the Freedom Caucus.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He actually encouraged the January 6th insurrection on the U.S. Capitol.
Was that an insurrection?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually calling about that because I heard the last caller talking about good cops and bad cops. I want to talk about the good cops that day that protected the Capitol and made sure that was safe against the insurrectionists. And I actually want to talk about it a little bit more. Can you help me understand why that happened that day?
No. I doubt if I can help you understand it because you probably know as much about it, if not more about it than I do.
Really?
From what I see is, there are a bunch of people that gathered in Washington, D.C., I guess some at the request of the then president who was outgoing and didn't want to leave. And they had some kind of a gathering out there. And he told them, yes, go to the Capitol or go to wherever, but protest peacefully.
And these knuckleheads took it.
And some of them came to Washington with malice aforethought. They had plans. There were people that came with guns, and they found a carload of guns right near the Capitol. By the way, that keeps getting overlooked. That was pre-positioned there just in case it was needed to be needed. That's overlooked, right? You don't.
Well, I believe the protest was to stop the steal. What was the steal?
Stop the. Sorry, what? Oh, verifying and confirming that the vote was accurate.
No. What was the steal? They said stop the steal.
Stop the steal?
Oh, the election.
Oh, yeah, because Trump had claimed it was stolen.
Okay, so that's why they're protesting, because the president at the time claimed that the election was stolen. I noticed the mugshot of him on your wall.
Oh, that's one of the funny things. We have a regular caller in here. He's fun, and we have a good time with him. In fact, the jackass, the photo of the jackass down there, that was all of that stuff over there is courtesy of him, by the way. And he also sends us breakfast because he calls us the obstruction. No, we call him
Deplorables.
He calls us the deplorables.
Yes.
You'll see the shirt over there, and we call him the obstructionist. So it's a fun thing. That's all.
We are very.
No.
Yeah.
I know. I understand that.
Okay.
I understand that you're trying to make light of it. But
Absolutely.
I was just asking what your understanding of why the insurrection happened on January 6th, because my representative Scott Perry actually emailed President Trump and also at the time former President Trump and was feeding him misinformation, saying that there were ways to actually invalidate the voice of the myself.
I would hope that Trump and others had, but obviously somebody did.
He did actually.
Mm-hmm.
And if you Google it, you'll find that information. But yeah,
I believe everything I read on Google.
January 6th insurrection was, based on lies, and that the election wasn't stolen, and that Donald Trump is a fascist.
Well, I'm not going to call him a fascist, but you can if you want to.
I know I am.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
your time.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Have a good day.
I'm not really too sure which way that went.
I'm not sure.
I can do it. If y'all are watching on YouTube or whatever, it went that way.
Actually, I mean, Jeremiah, I'm still trying to figure it out myself. Maybe
I don't know what caused the so-called insurrection. I haven't yet called it an
I
insurrection.
haven't called it that.
So,
I
okay.
refuse to call it that.
Charlie's back again.
Charlie's. I
Gosh,
think it's Charlie.
Dr.
I
Reed,
really like that caller.
you like
I
him?
like that caller. I
Well,
think that was a really good caller.
Give me your number and I'll give it to him next time he calls.
Well, no, you gotta have you gotta have varying opinions.
I agree with
Sure.
that. That's what we cater to.
He's out of it. First of all, he makes no sense. Or hold on, let me rephrase that. He, them, we, them, I, hop pronoun made absolutely no sense. But I appreciate it's them, the, we, the, I, are, its opinion. I think it's cool. You get random people calling in, sharing their voices.
Yeah.
You know, you may not agree with them, but listen. When you get a we, them, the IHOP, Wendy's, McChicken, little IZM, we, IZIRE calling in pronoun, it's good.
Okay. I'm doing catch up here. I'm having to do each one of those individually. But I got you. I'm with you now.
Did you take it that he was in support of the insurrection or opposed to it? The
I
last
think
caller.
he had some points.
Okay.
You don't want everyone to agree with you.
Oh, heavens no.
No. You don't want them to agree with you. I think he had some points.
Okay.
I only want my wife to agree with me when she agrees to agree with me. That's every now and then.
Yeah, you don't want everybody calling in, kissing your ass, and trying to
But I will accept bribes.
I love Charlie.
I will accept bribes. Lots of them.
No, I'm just
I'm not
telling
going to
you.
get
You want
anything for it,
people-
but I will accept.
You want someone to call in and say, "Listen, this is why you're wrong, and this is what you can learn from
Absolutely.
what I'm saying."
Charlie, personally, I think Jeremiah is basically saying it was an insurrection, which I've never called it that. I think it was a bunch of people who went too far.
Got out of control.
And,
I do. I will.
Place in history.
I will say, in my personal opinion, I got absolutely very little to back it up with that I can talk about, but I will say that there was likely a group of individuals, an organization, if they want to be called an organization, who came together, saw an opportunity, they saw the opportunity, and then they got together, came together, and they swarmed on Washington. And then it does not take how many people were, but anyway, let's just say there were 10% of people out there that got together and came there with malice aforethought. 10% of a mob, a group of people that can become a mob at that point in time. That's the way it's done. There are people out there in our government and every government. They do that in times of war to create hate and discontent amongst the enemy. It's done that way on a regular basis. Planned. Our government did not plan this, of course, but I don't know that some other government did not. How's that?
And so you guys know that the whole committee
I'm gonna probably get in
that
trouble
was
with
put
that.
together after the, what is it called, the insurgent or whatever happened. You guys know the committee, correct?
I know the
DC.
Yeah, it was put on by Liz Cheney and
Yes. I watched that. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, when you watch the videos of these, you know what? When you watch the videos of these white, these radical, just KKK monster white people, at the Capitol, I'm being flippant. They're not monster KKK white people. They just had an affection for Trump. They realized that what was going on in the United States of America, the corruptness, some people got out of control, yes. Okay. It's just really sad that you see all these other so-called individuals storming into Capitals, these BLMs and these Antifa people burning and rioting, it's not talked about. It's just like it's not a big deal.
No, it's talked about, but it's not
acted upon.
Yeah. I mean, you think about what they did and the cities that they destroyed. I don't get me wrong, Washington, D.C. is probably the heartbeat of America. But these other protests that you just mentioned burned down cities. They burned businesses out that had absolutely nothing to do with anything. They robbed. They did things.
Did they come together to do that, or was there a group? Was there a group of individuals that led them astray? They organized. It's easy to do that. First of all, let me just go back to long time ago, and one of the first classes that I ever taught, of course, in civil disorders, and what we call riot control, if you really wanted to put it that way, because that's what it was. Well, you're going to be outnumbered as a cop every time. But if you go into a situation where there is such a large group of individuals, and I know two people who are likely listening right now. One of them's first name is Jack, the other is named Paul, and they will, and probably a couple more listening that I don't know who are listening. But these individuals, they've all been through these same courses, and I'll never forget the instructor in the one that I went through. He said, when you got all of this large group of people coming at you, and you and those 5 other guys that you got there with you, you're standing there. We didn't have shields in those days. We had sticks and shotguns. He said, if they get that bad and they are posing such a threat to you by storming you as a group, if you pick out the biggest, the baddest, the most aggressive looking individuals, and you take them down, the rest will disperse. They are not there. They're not dedicated. They ain't there. They're just following the leaders, and the leaders are a bunch of idiot radicals. So get rid of the leaders and you win.
And guys, I have like 1,000 questions to ask you guys with regards to what you just said, with regards to, with regards to how you're trained as a police officer, with regards to different situations that you're involved with. Can I just ask you like a bizarre, random question in your studio?
I will. Let me just put any questions you ask me, I will reserve the right to not answer. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm just a random, I'm going to use the word Australian for individual bloke because I'm trying to be cool. I'm just a random guy.
I'd rather you be a significant.
Okay, but what is the significance of the things in your background? I'm like looking like at a wreath with an American flag. I see Trump. I see Betty Boop. I think a donkey with glasses on, and I see another red sign. What is the significance of that? Who put that up? What does it mean? Or do you guys going to change it around?
We change it around from time to time. Let me go with the wreath first. The wreath here is done by a lady that I know very well, and she donated it to us. It's pro-law enforcement, if you will see it. That's what it's all about. In the middle is support law enforcement. Obviously, I'm going to be supporting law enforcement, period, bottom line. Duh. I don't support all bad cops. I don't support any bad cops, but I don't, I'm 99.9% are not. So that's going to be a support the law enforcement community because that's what I do. That's the way it is. Go and do it. The mugshot of Donald Trump is one that our friend Theo, you've heard Theo talking before. In fact, everything on that side was sent in or delivered to us from our friend Theo. And the donkey, he sent that as well. The donkey with the glasses on it, he thought that was a cute picture because this other gentleman, we had him on yesterday, he raises jackasses, donkeys. Okay? Tim, you've heard him.
Yes.
Tim is known as the donkey man. So he had one of his donkeys gave birth maybe 3 years ago, and he named the donkey Theo in honor of Theo, the guy who calls in. I mean, the shirt over there that says what is this? Deplorables is one that Theo sent in because from the days of what's her face, the ne'er do well, the wife of the slutmonger, she referred to all people who didn't support her as deplorable. So we got the name of deplorables. Who are you talking to?
I think it's an echo.
No, I'm getting a background. No, I apologize.
Okay, no
I
problem.
was getting the background.
And then the Betty Boop up there, live, love, and laugh. That's something that Theo pushes as well. I do too. Live, love, and laugh. So we're laughing. I laugh at him. He laughs at us. Okay, that's the significance. Now, what else?
No. I was just kidding. No, I was just curious. Obviously, it's your studio. It's your set. It's like, the TV show MASH, Friends. I don't know, WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, I love KRP in Cincinnati.
Call ourselves.
KRP in Cincinnati was training ground. Okay, that was great.
Man.
I love Les Nessman.
Well, just so you know, I have to rearrange this because we have another flag that we have to hang up there.
We got some stuff to do.
Yeah, so we're going to kind of arrange it a little bit differently.
Women have, they do things on a whim. Like redecorating, right? They just do things on a whim. And one of these days, we're going to replace the flag with something else, though.
I will tell you this about your podcast watching. Every once in a while, your dogs will enter the picture. That's something that's very relaxing and kind of cool to see.
I had my dog on here last week. Did you see him?
No.
Yeah, but do you have any animals on set today, or is it?
Oh well, we have Rayford's dog, but he's taking a nap. He got a good massage.
We've got over there in this studio that you don't see on camera. We have a futon over here. We got an extra chair. We have some stuff that's stored over here. We got junk because this is a room that's sort of a catch-all.
Are you guys in a basement or on like the first floor?
No, I don't trust basements. They flood.
We used to be in a closet. Then we moved here.
Yeah, we came out of the closet.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I need to word my.
Here we go again. Now somebody's going to pick up on that one.
Let me ask you this. Listen to my last.
We're 86. The closet. There's 47 people that were too many.
Are you guys ever out and about, just doing your normal daily life things? Has anyone ever recognized you?
Yeah, you've asked that question several times.
Yeah.
That they do. Physically, not so much, but when they hear the voice, they do. Unless I go out and I change my voice and I talk something like this, then they don't know who the Sam Hill I am.
No, but that's got to be very odd for another human being to recognize you and say, wait a minute, are you that person on this show, or is that you?
Charlie.
That's got to be a weird thing.
Charlie, I was in television news, and before I became the manager of the news department, I was a reporter. I was on TV every day. I was all over the southeastern part of North Carolina at this one TV station that I worked at. So, no, there was nowhere I could go and just let my hair down. What is worse than that is a female reporter or anchor. They've got to get dolled up. They got to look just like they do on TV before they go to the grocery store. Can you imagine them going to the grocery store in their old rags in those days? No. That's all.
I wear my princess outfit when I go to the grocery store.
Yeah, right. I wear my Prince Charming outfit.
I wear what I'm wearing right now. Crime Stoppers of Reach Across America.
I'm wearing a neutral shirt today. It's red. That's all.
Hey, guys, last question. Seriously, last question.
Yes.
Is there? Let's say you allowed me into your studio, and that will never happen. Do I have to wear a red shirt? What is going on with the red shirt?
Okay, we'll go explain it one more time. What day of the week is this?
Thursday or Friday?
I thought it was going to be a simple question. Yes, it is Friday. Friday is known nationally, internationally, but it's known around these there parts as Support Your Law Enforcement Day. We have a double whammy here. The high school that we went to, the mascot is a cardinal. The bird is a cardinal. It's red. On Fridays, that's when they play Friday football, Friday night football. And we just got into the habit of supporting law enforcement on Fridays, and a double whammy, we can support our school. Now, you're going to write that down so you'll remember it?
Right. What does my shirt say?
Jacksonville Cardinals.
I apologize for asking that.
No.
Good,
I'm glad you do,
Charlie.
because we try to remind people of that on a regular basis. And you're not the only one who asks. I get asked about it in public. Why do you always wear red?
Listen, I know. Listen. I'm not going to go on for 5 minutes saying how great law enforcement is and how they put their lives in front of my life. No. I appreciate what you do. I'm a big fan of what you do. So yeah. So
Charlie, just real quick, we're all Cardinals.
We're all Jacksonville High School graduates.
you know what? You guys never ask me questions. I ask all the questions.
Okay.
If you had to ask me a question, what question would you ask me?
What are your shoe sizes? Are they both the same size?
I want to ask you,
Do you prefer red or black or brown shoes?
No, I want to hear.
I want to ask you, Charlie.
Boxers or briefs?
God,
Now I want to hear her question.
Charlie, this is Lee. Do you write comedy for different actors and shows?
For different what?
Do you write comedy lines and jokes as such for like actors or for their sitcoms?
I've done something like that in the past. It's a complete disaster where my life is right now. But I have done something like that in the past. Yeah.
Are you a comedian? I mean, do you go on the show?
Done stand-up comic.
Have you gone on the road? Yes.
No, I'm not making it. I'm not making a penny off comedy writing or anything with regards to stand-up comedy right now.
Okay.
Right now. Listen, hey guys, here's what I want to do, but I don't have. Let me use the word properly, so it's not blocked. I don't have the balls to do what you guys do. I want to do what you guys do, but I just don't have the
intestinal fortitude.
Fortitude?
The intestinal fortitude, aka guts.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do,
I don't
Charlie.
have the guts to do what you guys do. I don't have the guts to do what you guys do.
The day that we're working on a lot of things and it takes so much time, but we're going to eventually do a system where we can bring callers onto the screen if we want to. And when we get that far with it, we're going to have you come on the screen. How about that?
Well,
You can get a mask and wear it if you want to wear a mask. It'll be okay.
Yeah, you can wear a mask.
Paper bag, there's
do
you remember?
Let me ask you guys a question.
Do you remember the unknown
Let me
comic?
ask you guys a question. The Gong Show?
Yeah.
The unknown comic, yeah. You can wear a bag if you want to. Go ahead.
Let me ask you guys a question. All jokes aside, you guys, you live like a normal life. You probably have children. You've been married. Maybe you've been divorced. Maybe you've had alcohol, drug problems. You've had this, that going on in your life. Why are you online right now, exposing yourself, putting yourself out there, showing your persona? I'm not judging you. I think it's great. I wish I could do what you guys do. But why do you put yourself out there?
Charlie, I can tell you why I do it. One, I enjoy talking to people. I used to have a talk show way back when I was radio for 10 years. I like the opportunity to come on to this program and talk about good things like Wreaths Across America, Crime Stoppers, listen to callers such as yourself, and hang out with these two because they're fun. And, in life, you got to have a little bit of fun.
That's right.
So, okay, the other two people, you're putting yourself out there. You guys have kids, maybe grandkids, maybe. Why are you waking up in the morning and saying, listen, I'm going to go online live on YouTube? No, I'm not judging. You guys, I love this show. You guys will be amazed at how many shows I call into with thousands of viewers. People hate me online. But this is my favorite show. I have no clue. I'm just fascinated. Why do you guys go online, the other two? You wake up in the morning and you say, listen, I'm going to go in front of a camera and I'm going to expose myself. Why do you do that?
Well, I don't come on camera to expose myself. And to be absolutely honest with you, I fought the camera and the camera won. Here's why I fought the camera in the beginning. I mean, I was on TV for a long time. I did not want to do TV ever again. But anyway, they will not put me on Facebook or YouTube unless there is video to go with it. So I could put a picture up there believe it or not. I could zoom into nothing but this screen behind us. But I was told by everybody else that we should have a shot of us. And now there are people out there, Lee leading the charge, and Kelly and others are saying we need to put up.
Why does Lee do it? Lee, first of all, I'm a fan of yours, Mr. Brown. But Lee, why do you do this?
He really
why
thinks my
do you
name
go
is Brown,
online
doesn't he?
knowing that people like me, people like me are watching you? And I think you're beautiful. You're smart. I like you as a personality.
Wow.
Now he's talking about Lee. Sorry.
Well, first of all, thank you, Charlie. Second of all, I grew up listening to talk radio right here in the town that I grew up here in Jacksonville, and it became a part of my life. After the local show would go off, the syndicated version of Rush Limbaugh would come on, Neil Boards. Listen to them through the day. That's when I used to deliver mail, and that was what was on my radio. So I grew up listening to talk radio. I got involved in this show back, I guess it was 2019, 2020, when I was chairman for the county Republican Party here. And Rayford would invite me on the show to discuss whatever was going on at the time.
So I could bash the Republicans.
Yes, he could bash us. And so then I started becoming a fill-in here and there, and then eventually just stayed and never left.
Yeah.
Stayed and never left. But I enjoy talking with the community. I enjoy doing things with the community. I've got a list of people right here that I've got to call this weekend about appearing on the show. So people in our surrounding area can learn what's going on in the county, in the city, and surrounding counties. Right now, we have some breaking stuff that I just sent to Rayford on Gmail. And we're going to get to that in a few minutes. It's about this funding of our volunteer fire departments and a statement that was put out by the county manager. And see, normally people don't go searching for stuff like that, but they hear it from us because we
There's
provide it
nobody
to
else to hear it from, to be
That's
honest
right.
with you right now.
Hey, Charlie, you're going to like this. Let me tell you why I do it. For 10 years, I was in radio, and I was always told I had the face for radio.
That's the
You're
reason they
just-
did it.
Listen, I've said this 1,000 times. I've said this 1,000 times. Maybe I've said this 20 times. I love this podcast. I've been a troll. You guys know what a troll is, right?
Oh, yes,
Yes.
I do. I've worked for one.
A troll is a horrible person that calls into
That's what I said.
radio shows. I've been doing this since I was 13 years old. This is the only show that I actually like. But you guys get like people from like Australia or the United Kingdom. Does any of these like random people have they connected with your show?
I've had them from California. I've had them from Haiti. I've had them from China. A guy that actually used to work for me called in one day from China. I've had, oh my God, we're all over the country. We've had different callers from time to time. You just heard Jeremy on from Pennsylvania. We used to get callers from Florida. Still get one caller from down there on a regular basis, periodic basis. We get them from everywhere. California, you're not the only one from California that we've had calls from. Used to be a gentleman that
Let me ask you:
used to work with.
Would you be okay? I'm not sure what your answer to this question is. Would you be happy if you had like a massive online podcast with a few million listeners that enjoys your unique small town perspective on life? Would you like that?
Let me explain to you. We had one on a different show. We had a producer. He screened all calls. Number one, we don't screen calls. He screened every call that came in. That he would send us a note as to what that individual, who it was, and what they wanted to talk about. And my God, we got. I think the record was 24, 27 calls in one morning about a particular issue. That's a lot of calls to deal with. And then, and I like having a producer up there. I didn't have to punch any buttons anywhere. We didn't do anything on our end. Nothing. He did it all. And he wasn't even in the studio or not even in the same town. So the bigger you are, the more other individuals have an input into what I do. You understand? I kind of like the small town atmosphere.
You guys.
I've done the other.
Go ahead.
No.
Excuse me.
And I'm looking for whatever Lee claims that she sent me, so I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
yes, it is.
Yes.
I see it. I see it.
It
Just
was a
popped up.
statement put out by the
We'll talk
county
about that one
manager.
too. But
Yes.
anyway, but I'm going to
Interesting.
leave you with Charlie. I'm going to leave you. Go ahead. You got one final, and I'm going to tell you a couple things. One thing.
So my last question is: I've been going through multiple attorneys with regards to my Las Vegas
Beat down.
What happened? I had one attorney that was working with me. Then they said they don't want to work with me. Then they called me again and they said, "We do want to work with you." I'm just curious. Do you remember the name of the individual that knocked me out?
No, I don't think you ever told us the name.
Was it named Bubba?
Bubba. It doesn't matter.
Mike Tyson.
Anyway, okay. So listen, what's that? No,
Mike
it
Tyson.
doesn't matter.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. For all you folks out there, tomorrow is the
Saturday.
The 17th?
Yeah, of May. You know what day it is? It's Barricade Go Topless Day. Tomorrow.
Rayford.
Really?
It is.
What is a Jeep thing?
Well, yeah.
Is it really?
What did you think?
Well, just what you were trying to let us all think. Or how did you think we were going to think when you came out with that?
Well, one of you thought it. No, it's Barricade Go Topless Day.
Chris was just being polite and not saying anything.
If you got a Jeep, the idea is you take the tops off the Jeep, because a lot of the some of the Jeeps, the Jeeps, they got tops that can remove part of it or the whole thing. You drive around with no tops on. There's a big organization that promotes this every year. And there are some clubs everywhere, and there are prizes in some places. Well, yes, there will be pictures that will circulate after the fact of double topless, shall we say.
Okay. All right.
This is from the county of Onslow. I'm going to read it to you. I haven't read it yet.
This is
Onslow County appreciates the contributions that volunteer fire departments make to the community and values the continued partnership between these important nonprofit corporations and the taxpayers' fire protection investments. What was that sentence? Taxpayer funding to VFDs has risen sharply in Onslow County in less than a decade. In 2017, the taxpayers contributed $2,120,103. Woo, strange figure, to VFDs, and by 2025, that amount was $6,417,808. Now, Onslow County VFDs stand to receive $8,021,849 in funding for fiscal year 2026, plus the services of 60 professional firefighters paid by county funds. The combined level of proposed FY26 taxpayer support is more than $10,500,000. That goes to the volunteer fire departments. Mm-hmm. Yes, there will be 60 paid, either part-time or a combo, firefighters, professional firefighters, as part of this whole plan. In 2011, Onslow County began embedding paid personnel in volunteer fire departments at their request. The volunteer fire departments made that request as far back as 2011. The current year, Onslow County budgeted $2,421,534 to supply the VFDs with 60 full-time and part-time firefighters to mitigate reduced volunteerism. Oh boy. To reduce those who volunteer. Volunteerism. Yeah. This figure does not include paid staff at Bear Creek or Freedom Way stations, which were turned over to the county after dissolution of the associated nonprofit agencies. Onslow County taxpayer contributions to VFD since 2017 is proposed to total $45,300,000 as of July 1st, 2025. Since 2017, the area VFDs combined to raise only $1,132,812, according to IRS reports. At one time, the volunteers, if you want to go back in time, the volunteer fire departments in this county, they raised all of the money that they got. There was no county support, very little county support. There were surplus trucks that were purchased by the communities where the volunteer fire departments were. There were bake sales. Turkey shoots was a big fundraiser around Thanksgiving and Christmas. All sorts of things were happening. The $45 million taxpayer contribution does not include the personnel costs for professional firefighters assigned to assist the volunteer departments. The professionals are not in charge. They assist the volunteer departments. The increased taxpayer funding for Onslow County Fire Services has had a demonstrable impact on lowering area ISO ratings, which lowers homeowner insurance rates and ultimately creates a safer community. In 2011, the volunteer fire departments had ISO ratings of 9S across the entire county. By 2016, all had improved to 6. The lower the number, the better off they were. By 2021, most were at 4 or better, with only one station remaining a 6. The Board of Commissioners' proposed agreement stipulates that all will retain a minimum ISO of 6. Okay, they're already there. Rapid and significant growth of citizen tax payments to volunteer fire departments, as well as the 15-year transition to a hybrid combination, that means professional/volunteer system, necessitates an updated agreement. Work toward a new fire service agreement began in October of 2022, with efforts from Onslow County acknowledging their need to meet with the volunteer firefighters to create greater accountability for taxpayer-funded fire service assets. In March of 2023, 2 years ago, Onslow County Emergency Service asked the VFDs for an asset list to ensure that the millions of dollars of taxpayer-funded firefighting equipment will always be available to serve the community. More of that shortly. After many months with no response, Onslow Emergency Services again requested an asset list in July of 2024. If you recall, this was during a time when another individual was in charge of emergency services, who all of the volunteer firefighters have been we've been talking to, have been talking about how great that he was. I won't say anything else. Having received no asset information by October 29th of 2024, last October, emergency services staff was instructed to request an asset list of all taxpayer-funded items worth more than $1,000. Still no response. In February of this year, an ad hoc committee was created with the goal to update the fire service agreement to reflect the rising and substantial taxpayer contributions. Members of this committee included 4 volunteer fire chiefs and 3 county commissioners. Those included the chief at Back Swamp, the chief at 9 Mile, the chief at Half Moon, and fire rescue commissioner member, the chief at the Verona Fire Department and Fire Rescue Commission member, Paul Buchanan, who's the Fire Rescue Commission member, he's a commissioner, Lisa Carpenter, a county commissioner, and Tony Paget, a county commissioner. The ad hoc committee met in February and March this year. Minutes from the 2 committee meetings reflect collaboration and compromise between the 2 groups. County commissioner appointees then attended a volunteer fire chiefs meeting in March to gather additional input, which is incorporated into the service agreement final draft. A copy of such was provided to the VFDs on April 16th, a month ago. The agreement uses local government best practices and is similar to the fire service agreements in neighboring counties. The request for an inventory of all assets valued over $5,000, listing the county as a loss payee on insurance policies, and a dissolution clause that returns taxpayer-funded assets are common in county/VFD agreements. The dissolution clause, which returns assets to taxpayer ownership, would be effective only upon the nonprofit corporation's self-initiated dissolution. Onslow County maintains a commitment to collaboration and compromise with its volunteer fire departments. This multi-year effort exhibits the board's patience throughout the process to create a new fire service agreement. The agreement was unanimously approved by the Board of Commissioners and offers a balance between the needs of the nonprofit corporations that provide fire protection and the best interests of taxpayers, which provide approximately 97% of funding for fire protection in the county's unincorporated areas. That's
All
their
right.
official statement. Now, let me add one more thing.
Mhm.
97% of the funding for fire protection also includes county tax dollars. County tax dollars
Mhm.
includes the people who live outside or who live in municipalities that are not serviced by any volunteer fire departments. Okay.
And thank you to Kelly because she sent that to us. She was able to obtain a copy of it and send it to us. So thanks, Kelly. And something else before we get back to that, I just like in reference to our James Comey story this morning, where he took a picture from a beach with the seashells like that.
Mr. Comey?
It is being said now that he actually bought a house, a beach house at Emerald Isle, and is living there. So anybody want to go with me today to stalk? Let's go stalk.
Is he married?
I don't know. I'm
after
not.
him? Are you trying to? Are you trying to interfere and trying to get
I'm
between
not
a man and his
stalking
wife?
for that reason.
Is that what you're doing?
I just want to stalk and set up to see when the FBI hits his house.
I know what you're going to be doing.
What? I'm gonna get him come on the show. I want to go out and find him.
How are you going to do that?
I don't know. I'll
Oh.
lie.
I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to go out there in the middle of the night. You find out where his house is. You can find it if you want to. I can.
Well, we can
it.
find it. Let's just go to the tax records.
No, it could be listed under anything. You know how that is.
Well, we know, yeah.
Ask Letitia James.
Well, he's not that smart. After the picture, okay, all right, I'm done with it. Let's get back to the fire.
I mentioned yesterday when Tim brought up something about the pictures and the photos that fire departments got looked into getting done.
Yes,
They had
yes.
had families come in and they had a pseudo professional photographer. It's
Mhm.
kind of like those guys that would go around the malls and whatever and set up and okay, turn this way, turn that way. They shoot 7 pictures of you and then they send them to you for a fee and you get to pick what you want, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, what was going on here? Because here's what occurred and no fault of the fire departments or anybody else, okay? The people got, decent photographs taken.
Right.
They were not professional portraits, all right? Everybody's looked exactly alike,
Mhm.
period, bottom line. It's okay, no problem, but it was done as a fundraiser for the fire department. The fire department got 7%. Let that sink in. $7 out of every $100 that the people paid for photographs went to those volunteer fire departments. Those volunteer fire departments worked their little backsides off to get as many people, to get all those packages sold, to get those sold, because that's who sold them. And plus some online on the telephone line calls that used to be made. Oh, you live in this fire district, they got this thing set up out there we're going to take some pictures and the money goes to the fire departments. Not how much of the money goes, 7% goes. That was the average, is what they got of all the money that was collected. You sell radio advertising for a radio station, Lee. You sell advertising, the standard fee is 15% just to go sell the advertising, right?
Right.
15%.
That's right.
Yeah.
They got 7% and they did all the work.
Wow.
I'm just telling you.
That's not right.
That is hard work to get $7
Mm-hmm.
for volunteers to go out and do it. But that's what they used to have to do. Now, $8 million. $8 million. 97% of all the funding for these volunteer fire departments come from taxpayers, not from those picture takers. Bubba could have gotten his camera out there and shot pictures and, gotten them printed up and charge $100 for a package, and the fire department could make $10, could make $90 off of it. That would have been the going rate. That's what should have been done. But these companies are in business to make money, and they're listed as a nonprofit. But they are listed if it's in North Carolina, with the State Department here, North Carolina Department of State. That's how we could always pull the records. I always pull the records on these things. Duh. And that's the average, by the way, is about somewhere around 91 to 93% will be the average of what the nonprofit gets out of every nonprofit venture that they get involved in. They get it. Their benefactors don't. They do it under the guise of doing it for that purpose. That way they don't have to pay taxes on it.
Well, I was trying to pull up
So much for that.
Just recently, the North Carolina State Fire Marshal's Office, whatever, just released April 15th recipients of grants. And I understand that some of our departments here in Onslow County received grants, which is another way that they bring in money to their nonprofit. So I've been sitting here trying to pull it up, but I can't find a list yet.
But taxpayer funds for all of that, regardless of whatever grants they get.
Right.
Taxpayers in Onslow County pay 97% of all of their costs.
Right.
97%.
Now, let's go back to the letter that was put out by the county manager.
You need to do the weather, but go ahead.
I think that right there, do you want to do weather first?
No, go ahead.
Now, I think that right there should dispel a lot of rumors that have been going around about, statements being put out that the county is stabbing some of these departments in the back. They're trying to take control. They're trying to take over. There was even statements made yesterday by just a few that they felt like the distribution of the funds that the county is talking about giving each station, if you sign this, now there's a select few that are trying to say, well, we see some of these stations didn't get as much or should have gotten more, and we kind of feel like it's they're coming after us as disciplinary action. I mean, all this has got to stop. What the county is doing, in my opinion, I think it's good for everyone.
Now, some of these dissidents, I'm going to do that. Some of these dissidents are creating a problem. And now they're doing it from within. That group of 13, now they're dissing each other. What is this about? They're eating their own. And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt everybody.
Right. So I just think this is an excellent statement, Charlie. And I appreciate the county putting this out, but I have to say, I'm not a volunteer fire department person. I value everything they do.
I do too.
I think they're the best ever.
Unsung heroes at times, but every community that they service, they know the value of the volunteer firefighters.
But I'm also a taxpayer.
Yes.
And I want to know that if what happened at Bear Creek when it dissolved and the county had to take it over in order to provide those people living in that district fire protection.
They were going to pay a lot more and suffer with no fire protection.
I want to know that the county, if I'm living out in the county, like say Catherine Lake, and the station goes defunct there and dissolves, I want to know that somebody's got our back.
Okay. Well, Charlie, hang in there. Don't go away because we got to do a couple of things here. One, offshore today out to 20 nautical miles, winds out of the southwest 10 to 15 knots, seas 3 to 4 feet, and they're going to be about 6 seconds apart. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop. The water temperature for you guys who love to fish is still going to be in the lower 70s. Fishing should be really good out there. Getting there is going to be a little dicey right away. Right now, anyway. Southwesterly winds tomorrow. 15 to 20, kick it up a bit, increasing to 20 to 25 in the afternoon. 3 to 5 footers every 5 seconds. Sounds in the rivers choppy, increasing to rough in the afternoon. Sunday, westerly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4. Sounds in rivers of moderate chop.
Today, mostly sunny with a high near 94, southwest wind 5 to 7 miles per hour. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 71. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 92. And Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 88.
Before we go to Charlie,
Cold front.
real quick, I got a instant message from someone, not on the county, but they're concerned with why the the 15th was the deadline, and the county commissioner meeting is on the 19th. And so that's the first, I guess that's the first chance it's going to have, I guess, a public hearing. A public comment.
They could have gone at any time since February and done public comment.
Yeah.
I know that anybody can speak at public comment, but what's happening is these, as Rayford would say, dissidents are pushing people to go in during public comment to speak about this. Well, look, I mean,
the opportunities have been there. They presented
And
themselves.
they've
They've been
passed.
advertised. They've done all of this sort of good stuff. Now, sooner or later, Jack, I'll tell you, when I gave a person an assignment in my department, your assignment was it will be done, and it will be between 1 minute and 10 seconds in length, the package, and 1 minute and 18 seconds in length, no more, no less. And it leads the newscast tonight at 6 o'clock. And if it ain't done, there's a deadline here, folks. The deadline is 6 o'clock. Period. Bottom line. Charlene, how are you?
good Lord.
I mean, this is Charlie today, right?
Charlie.
Yes.
Charlie.
Yeah. Who's Charlene?
Well,
Charlene.
that was your other side in case you ever decide to switch sides.
Yeah. That's my adopted stepsister. Listen, so I'm researching Onslow County. I have no clue what goes on in your county, but I wanted to look up the official website of people that run your community, your county. And there's a few people. The first person that popped up is the county manager of Onslow County. His name is David Smithereen. Do you guys know who David Smithereen is?
Smithereen, yes, we do.
So is he like a strong, reputable, like a leader in the community that you guys stand behind?
Absolutely. He was selected by the 7 members of the county commission, and when one county commissioner leaves or whatever, he'd been in the position before, and he was the acting county manager there for a while. I forgot the exact what occurred, but yes, he's had experience in this county and others.
So first of all, I have no clue what people like. I live where I live. It's just a hodgepodge of illiterate. Okay, so do you guys know who Tim Foster, Robin Knapp, Royce Bennett, Paul Buchanan? Do you guys know these people?
I know every one of them. They're on the show here on a periodic basis. Yes. Yep. Paul Buchanan and I, we kind of worked together back in the days because we were dealing drugs or dealing with drug dealers.
You say you were dealing drugs?
Yeah, he was a cop.
He's a Purple Heart veteran of the military. He's retired.
No, he was in the Air Force. No, he was a Marine, wasn't he? He's a Marine. Yes,
he's a Marine.
He's a good guy.
Coming from a coastie, you better.
When you say dealing drugs, like sting operations, what are you talking about?
Oh, we arrested people when they were selling drugs to us or to other people.
All right.
Or just driving around smoking a joint.
All the people that I mentioned, are these like, first of all of us are great, all of us are bad. But the people that I mentioned, are these like people that you respect and they're like leaders of the community? And yeah. I know Tim Foster. In fact, I knew Tim Foster's daddy way back when. But I know Tim Foster. He retired as the principal of Southwest High School, right? One of the high schools here. He's an educator, and he's also heavily into sports, high school sports. He's a coach at
Northside, and he's also the county athletic
director. He's now the county athletic director.
And a lot of that is an unpaid. Well, it's paid, but it's
people. Okay, hold on. Oh, so can I ask you about Lisa Carpenter, John Davis, and Tony Patchett?
I know.
Do you know them as well?
The least
know them all personally.
Yeah, I don't know Lisa Carpenter as well. She's kind of new on the board. I've known Tony for many years and other professionals that he was in. Robin Knapp, I know very well. Unfortunately, Robin, I know you too well. But so Robin, I know very well. And who else was it? John Davis. He was the mayor of Swansboro, one of the towns in this county. I know him too. I know them all.
So are these like, okay, so I listed very quickly. Tim Foster, Robin Knapp, Royce Bennett, Paul Buchanan, Lisa Carpenter, John Davis, Tony Padgett. Are these like the leaders of your community?
Well, they're the elected county officials, county commissioners. and
And
they
you like
handle
all of them?
accountability.
Is there one that you don't like?
No,
Is there one that you don't like?
Not even one right now.
What?
Are they all?
I said
Oh,
there's
you
not.
don't like.
There's not one county commissioner
All right.
that's currently serving that I don't like. I can't always say that.
I took it the opposite way. I was like, well, no, you didn't mean that.
See,
You're joking.
Charlie, we're unique. We're probably not even unique, but so the city of Jacksonville falls into Onslow County. Yeah. So in Onslow County is a huge area, and it has many different towns, and then
including the largest amphibious military base on the East Coast. Yep. That's part of our town.
It's the world's largest marine amphibious base.
Camp Lejeune. So with the city, we have a city council made up of, I think, 7.
Mayor.
We have the mayor.
Council people.
And the council people. And then, of course, we have the county commissioners, and we have a county manager. So,
and then each one of the municipalities here, we got Swansboro, we got Richlands, we got Holly Ridge, and North Topsail. They're all cities unto themselves, and they have their own city councils, or one of them calls them town commissioners or whatever. Mm-hmm. But each one of those has their own governing board too.
What's the population of Onslow?
Well, about 230 million now, 230,000 now.
Jesus, sounding like
230,000, Charlie.
So is Onslow, is Onslow the biggest city in your state?
No.
Biggest county? No.
A bit, not, well, no, not as far as population, no.
What's the biggest county? I guess
Mecklenburg would have the largest population. It also contains the state's largest city. It's called Charlotte.
North Carolina.
Queen City of the South.
Yes.
Is what it's nicknamed.
Uptown.
Interesting. Hey, what's the television filming situation in your community? Are there a lot of film crews around?
Wilmington, North Carolina has studios.
You talk about television news crews? Is that what you're talking about?
No, like
filming,
like
films.
Los Angeles. I never use Hollywood because I come across.
There's companies down in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yeah, about 50 miles away. Yeah, they've produced tons of movies over the years. They do commercials. They do all sorts of other things there as well. But yes.
They did Matlock. Some of Matlock's.
They did the Matlock series.
One Tree 20 years ago.
Yeah, Matlock ended there, but they had One Tree Hill, was it? And,
they produced
and
that.
Dawson's Creek was all produced there. All of those were produced there. Linda Lavin retired there, and who's the guy that was on?
Did you say Linda Lavin?
Linda Lavin retired there. She set up an acting school there.
From the TV show Alice?
That's the one. Did you know another one? And also one of the cool guys.
I don't know.
Alice. There was another guy who was the commissioner on Batman. Oh God, it escapes me his name, but he was also on a lot.
Gordon?
But he was also on a lot of the Clint Eastwood westerns.
Martin Lawrence did a movie.
You know what I saw earlier? Clint Eastwood is turning 95, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah,
95 years old.
And my neighbor down the street is 96. And he walks up and down our block all the time. Mows his own lawn.
Seriously?
Yeah.
He actually mows people. He has a gas-powered mower.
He gets on it, drives it around, mows his lawn. Yeah.
Oh, no, he's driving. That's cheating. Okay, that's cool. I get it. Then driving is different than
the area that I live in here is called Country Club Acres. That means that lots were basically approximately an acre each. You could put what, 22 houses in Los Angeles on an acre lot? In other words, they're postage stamp lots out there.
Last question. I'm going to let you guys go. This is just a random, bizarre question. Do you ever watch the TV show The Righteous Gemstones?
No.
Nope.
Never heard of it.
What channel is it on?
Well, I think it was like on Netflix. It's just about these evangelical. It's with John Goodman. John Goodman. The guy used to be on Roseanne.
Yeah, I remember him.
He's a matriarch of a church. Basically, they're all con artists, and they convince these unique characters to join their church, to con people, to give them all their money.
Are they Catholics?
Really good shit. What's it? I don't know what it was.
There's an inside.
Chris is a good
Jim.
Catholic, so I have to give him grief from time to time. Should have been around when the Pope was
You guys
doing this thing.
seriously Google it and watch it. You can probably find it online for free, like on a streaming site.
Yeah, I got a bunch
But
of those
it's really
sites. Okay, we'll take a look at it.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Charlie.
And
We had Kevin on the other line.
Kevin, are you there?
Good morning. How are y'all?
Good morning, Kevin.
I need a breath of fresh air. I'm glad you called.
Well, look, if we can get this behind us, which I hope and pray we can,
Did you?
the fire service stuff. Can I inject respectfully? Can I inject something about the news release?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Absolutely.
Okay. Once again, sometimes I feel like I experienced the Civil War, age-wise. But let me say this: I grew up when these departments were gradually coming online. I can speak for Back Swamp. We were chartered in 1975. But what I want to respectfully inject, the timeline numbers, we discussed it last night. Some of the chiefs met and were discussing a happy medium that everyone could agree on.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working in the background. Once again, respectfully, we're asking that if people go and support Monday night, if they would also be respectful in the public meeting.
Please.
Yes, that's important.
We urge every one of the supporters from throughout the county, just support us. If you're a citizen taxpayer, you have the right to speak, but please speak respectful and get your point across.
I love what you're saying, Kevin. And you know what? Here's what occurs all too often. The wonderful, the mob, I shouldn't have said mob, the mass, the people that will go, 99% are going to be great. Then you're going to have a rebel rouser somewhere. I'm not saying you, but generally speaking, there's going to be somebody, a thorn in the side, and is going to irritate 7 people off up there at the county commission chambers. That's what usually happens, and then it goes downhill from there, as you know. So hopefully what you're saying will be exactly the way the people will act. And of all of you good people that are going to attend this, if there's somebody gets up to be an agitator, it's your job to put them down. Don't leave it up to the county commissioners.
We're making every effort to do that.
Thank you.
Through social media, face-to-face.
Is it too late?
Churches, whatever. We're trying to get the word out.
Okay. Well,
please be respectful to the commissioners.
Absolutely.
They have a terrible job.
Get yourself a lasso, and somebody goes up there and they're not respectful, lasso them and drag them down.
Well, hopefully if they bring... Anyway, my point is, I know y'all are limited for time.
Okay.
But there is a few questionable errors on the news release.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mac McDonald, I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with him. He was the past chief of Half Moon.
No, I don't know him, no.
Fire department. Mac has been very instrumental in gaining some of this history of Half Moon. Half Moon was actually the first department in Onslow County to lower their rating to a 6.
Oh, cool.
Okay? He's got a newspaper article that he sent me. I'll be glad to share that with y'all of what he actually did. That was in 1988 or 89.
Wow.
That they accomplished that. They were the first department that got other departments into swing.
Yeah.
In 1994, we were surveyed by ISO, not the State Fire Marshal's Office. ISO was doing it back then.
Right.
In 2000 and something, the State Fire Marshal's Office took that particular thing over based on population. Long and short of the story, the 2011 statement that every department were 9s, most every department were 9 or 6s, way before then. We got ours in 94. I think Verona was first after Half Moon. But all that can be documented. I'll be glad to get it to you.
Okay.
And I'm not disputing anything. I'm just saying they were done. It was done long ago before emergency responders came in.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to clear up the history.
Okay, that's great.
Sounds good. Kevin?
Look, can I say one more thing?
Sure, go ahead.
I thank y'all for what you do.
Well, we try.
You are a great asset to this community.
We try, Kevin, and you know what makes this show a success is to have people like you from both sides of the fence. I don't care.
Right.
Everybody's got a chance, and everybody has a story. I'm willing to tell it as long as they're not going to be berating us, or we don't have that many opinions. I do, but I generally keep them to myself. Unless it's a subject that don't come in here and tell me certain things about certain subjects that you don't know anything about that I do. You know what I mean? Because I doubt if there's but one other person in Oslo County that knows some of the things that I know.
I probably know who you're talking about.
No, you don't.
Anyway, I hope y'all have a blessed day.
Okay.
And we just want to say
again, I urge our supporters when you show up, please be respectful.
Okay.
and thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Kevin.
Voice of reason.
Y'all have a blessed day.
You
You
too.
too.
Be safe out there.
All
Have a
right, we
weekend.
have-
Have a good one. We got
Commissioner Bennett.
Oslo
on the
County
other
Commissioner Royce Bennett. How are you,
Man of
Royce?
many hats.
When is the next cooking contest? I'm gearing up.
Well, we've already
next
started.
year,
Is it too early?
right around Mother's Day. Get ready.
Next year? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. We're good.
Look,
So you got
We need to talk.
Get your menu together.
I'm gonna be cooking. I'm gonna try out some stuff this time again. Some new stuff. I'm gonna do some new stuff.
yeah, we've got whole new plans now. We're taking it back. We're taking it back.
You finished second, right?
Perfect it.
We're gonna go. All of us gonna be armed next time instead of just me. Just kidding, Royce. Just kidding.
So, Royce, is this whole thing you've got till yesterday to sign? Is it done and over with?
Well, I think a letter is going to go out today to the departments that didn't sign and ask them. But I think one of the issues is, and again, I've been concerned about this for 6 years. We give more and more, so we support the volunteers more and more every year. We love our volunteer fire departments. We want them to stay in business. That's why we've given them $45 million over the last several years so they can stay in business.
Mm-hmm.
But, one of the concerns I've had, and since I saw what happened in Bear Creek,
Yeah.
knowing that we have the taxpayers have absolutely no ownership interest in all of the equipment and buildings that you are buying with your tax dollars. And if one of these other departments happens to go under, like Bear Creek did, we don't have any way to provide the fire service to those people in that district.
May I ask a couple of questions as we go along? Those fire trucks that the counties paid for, they bought. Who are they? Who has the title for them? Who owns? Where's the title?
They're titled to the individual nonprofit fire department.
Okay.
And see, that's the rub for me.
So how much does a fire truck cost? How much does a fire truck today cost?
Yeah, $750,000, $800,000.
Okay, I'm just trying to put things into perspective here. So this is above and beyond some of this other stuff that you guys are dealing with.
That's right. Yeah, I mean,
I'm just checking.
The idea that if a fire department goes out of business and we have no ownership of any of the property, they can take it and sell it to a fire department in Charlotte, and their board of directors can do anything they want to.
Have a party
with the money. Is ridiculous. I mean, and all of the agreement says is if you go out of business, then that property transfers to either another nonprofit that can provide fire service, or it goes to the county and it will be used to provide fire service in the fire district where it was purchased.
Right. Got
So I just have a real hard time figuring out what the issue. Well, I know what the issue is. The issue is communication, and like I said, we've tried.
Sometimes that might be a two-way street. We know that. It could
Again, we have the only communication we have with these 13 nonprofit fire departments is through the Fire and Rescue Commission, and we trust the fire chiefs who serve on the Fire Rescue Commission to take the information back to the other fire chiefs and make sure that they understand what the concerns of the commissioners are. And apparently that's not been happening, because if it had, then they would have known 6 years ago that we've been concerned about this and that we wanted to make a new agreement with them. And you know, we've gone over and over and over through the EMS director, the county manager, the ad hoc committee, and it comes to the point eventually where you just got to stop and do something. And we got a budget due next month. We got to have we got to pass a budget next month. And I, for one out of the 7 commissioners, am not comfortable giving supporting our volunteers to the tune of another $10 million of taxpayer money with no ownership interest in any of the property that they have. You know, it came right down to the point where, like you said earlier, they've had this agreement for a month, the exact agreement that was negotiated with the fire chiefs, and now and now they balk at it, and they want to drag a bunch of citizens into it and tell them things that are not necessarily true, to lambaste the commissioners.
Okay, a
and
couple of questions here.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You've got one.
Well, I was going to give it to you.
Okay.
I just wanted to know, Royce, how many of the 13 volunteer fire departments have now signed the agreement? Do you know?
The last I heard, there were 3.
I heard 6, and that came from around, it came through another commissioner, but that was yesterday, early in the day, and I didn't know if more had signed. But what happens next now? Like you said, is it, they gave them till yesterday. Is it done and it's over with? You didn't sign, you're not getting the extra money? Or do you know if the county's going to extend it? Because you have people that are coming to the meeting Monday night for public comment. There's no need to really comment on anything if it's the deal is done.
Well, what I know is the letter is going to, a letter is going to go out today, asking the fire departments to tell us what their specific objections are to this agreement. And I can't say what the board's going to do. I mean, the Board of Commissioners passed this agreement resolution on,
And 4 of you can change it.
We passed the contract, unanimously, and only the board can change it.
Yep.
So these folks that have not signed, that don't sign, I mean, they're subject to getting back to minimum funding.
And and what do you base that amount on? What you give them?
They submit their budgets every year to the Fire and Rescue
Yeah,
Commission.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
So that has been part of the process. So they have a historical record of what their operating expenses are.
Okay. There were 4 members of the volunteer fire departments, 4 sitting on that group that you had there, right? The ad hoc committee?
Right.
3 commissioners, 3 county commissioners, and 4 of those. How many of those signed, if any, have already signed that agreement?
Oh, Rayford, I don't know that.
Okay, all right.
I don't know the answer.
I was curious.
Hey, Royce, this is Chris.
Yeah.
I got 2 that were sent to me from Richlands. I'm not sure which one. Richlands has their own volunteer fire department, I think. But they're saying that they don't own the assets themselves.
there is an issue with that we are trying to work through with Richlands and Holly Ridge and Swansboro, who are volunteer departments that are funded by county taxpayers to some degree, but they're also funded by their towns.
Right.
And that's a little issue that is trying to be worked out, is what kind of, I think that they tweak the agreement a little bit for those towns to say that if they go out of, if the volunteers go out of business, and I think that their assets revert to the town. But I'm not sure where that is right now.
Okay.
But I do know that that's an issue that has to be addressed. And you know what? That's any other issues that these folks had with this agreement. I mean, it can be addressed.
Sure.
There's nothing there that's, you said, they all meet the requirements right now that have been asked for in the agreement. So the agreement only asks them to maintain the level of service that they are doing right now, and agree to turn over the assets back to the taxpayers if they ever can't do that.
Okay. Now, for the city of, for like Swansboro, Holly Ridge, and Richlands, those three, they got fire departments there. Do those fire departments service outside the town limits on those three locations?
They do, and that's why they get some county funding.
There's where I was going. If you had said no, I was going to say then that's up to the cities, not up to the county taxpayers.
Right. We do fund them to provide fire service within 5 miles of their fire station.
All right, that's good.
The other thing that I'll just say it was a lady that sent it. I'm not going to use their name, but she was talking about assets with the county, and that when we donated to the YMCA, we don't have any assets in that. Is that?
Yes, we do. We have the swimming pool.
I think that's a great comparison. I love it when people tell me that, and I have an opportunity to answer it. Thank you, Chris. Because first of all, we are funding the YMCA at less than 10% of how we're supporting the volunteer fire departments. But the agreement with the YMCA says they will provide a service to the county, which includes many things, but teaching our second graders to swim. It includes letting the fire emergency services train. It includes allowing county residents to swim for free, and many other things in that agreement. But they have to provide a service to the county, and if they ever stop providing that service, the agreement says that the swimming pool reverts back to the county.
Okay,
so exactly the same terms as what we're wanting to do with the volunteer fire department.
Yeah.
If they can't provide the service, then the equipment goes to somebody that can.
Well, here's my headline then. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Let's move on.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if the YMCA ever shuts down the pool, then the county has a $20 million pool. I don't think that's a bad deal for the county taxpayers.
We can handle that.
And I'm always trying to look out for the county taxpayers.
Royce, can I change it up for just a minute? Because I've been meaning to ask you and I keep forgetting. What is the building that the county is buying up here on New Bern Highway for the sheriff's office? What's that going to be used for? I'm curious.
The sheriff needs the space. He needs the office space.
I need some space
and storage space. I know the evidence, and I don't know exactly what they're going to do with it, because a lot of it is just sheriff stuff.
Mm-hmm. we'll ask the sheriff.
I don't get into the sheriff's business too much, but the sheriff has convinced us that he needs more space, and we can't expand the sheriff's office downtown.
No.
Well, you could. Huh? Yeah. You could, but you'd have to destroy a bunch of stuff and build a big platform out there in the river.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's
Pave the
a better
river.
question for the sheriff, for Chris.
We'll find out from him what he's got.
Yeah, we'll
what he's
find
got
out.
in
I
mind.
was just curious and was taking the opportunity to
I would
ask.
assume, though,
Okay.
that with the purchase of this and the sheriff's office getting it, that it
Mhm.
remains in the inventory of the county commission, or the county, and that if the sheriff's office should ever go out of business, that we retain that building for the county's purpose.
That's exactly
Okay,
right.
just wanted to be sure. Got to clear that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys
I appreciate you
covering
coming
this
in.
issue.
You know, and be honest with you, if everybody, and I'm not blaming anyone, okay,
Right,
but if everyone would have in January, February of this year, at least by then, if everybody had been out there throwing all this stuff out there and put it all on the table, here's yada 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 yada, and everybody had a chance to pick it apart like they're doing right now,
Mhm.
today here, and yesterday here, and the day before here, it might not even be here.
Well, I will.
We might not even be discussing it.
I will say this: there will be two very happy people, maybe three. Kathy and I will be there representing Race Across America for something
Right,
very
right.
special,
Oh, really?
and so there'll be
Oh,
some
I've
good
got
news
to
to
go.
kick
Got
off
to
the
go.
kick off.
Excellent.
Hopefully, kick
So
off
it'll
the
be
meeting.
at least some happy comments.
No, it'll be very happy, Royce. It'll be
Happy
very
talk.
happy.
Can I
Yeah.
get up during public comment and just say, "Hey, I'm happy," and y'all, thank you for what you do.
You can say anything you want to in public comment.
Oh, well, can I do that, Royce?
Uh-oh.
No, we've got
Can I
something
get up there
urgent.
8647? Can I get up there and say 8647?
You stop. I want everybody to continue listening when Royce is done because I've got something urgent
I want to hear it.
that I have got to tell Rayford.
She's pregnant.
No,
She is?
and this
Congratulations.
is probably going to curl the flag behind us.
Well, look, I mean, if there are any of the people in the volunteer fire departments listening right now,
Yes.
or the fire chiefs, I'm saying sign the agreement. It's not that big a deal. If we have issues that we need to work out later, then we'll work them out later. But you're going to be in a lot better position to work out any issues that you have later than you are right now by not signing this agreement.
Now, Royce, if they don't sign the agreement and that money is kind of left on the table, are you going to reduce my tax rate?
Let me tell you, I mean, it's $8 million. We could reduce your tax rate, and we could support the EMS service. We could buy some EMS stations.
I don't want you to.
need.
I don't want you to look for somewhere else to spend it. I want you to give it back to me.
Mhm.
Well,
You could go to public comment, Rayford.
Okay, seriously, folks, take a look at the agreement. And there may be, as Kevin said, there may be some. I don't know what kind of information in there he's talking about, but I guess we will find out between now and Monday or on Monday. But whatever it is, it's called discussion time.
And they've had plenty of time for that, but I just want to reiterate, I love our volunteer fire people,
Oh, absolutely. I love
our
them all.
volunteer EMS. We appreciate you. I think the world of you. You should be given a medal every day for what you do.
Yep.
But
I agree. You need to be thinking about what's best for your citizens.
That's
what's
right.
best for the citizens in your district, because that's what we're doing.
absolutely.
We're worried about what's best for the taxpayers and the citizens in your fire district.
All right, Royce, thank you.
And providing that service is what's best for the citizens in your fire district. So,
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you,
guys.
Royce. We
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Royce. Have a good weekend.
Yeah,
All
you
right.
too.
Let me,
Okay.
that's Steve Poole calling right now. But before you answer that, we've had somebody that's been texting me like crazy here. Earlier in the week, we had one of our callers kind of get into, he was saying that it is a mandate that the county provide the fire
Okay,
departments.
got it. There's no
et cetera, et
requirement.
cetera. Okay. And you said there was no requirement. Of course, you are absolutely right. But he just texted me and said he had sent me a copy of the general statutes out of North Carolina. And Bubba, if you go back and read it again, it does not say that we're mandated. But he feels like you were wrong, and he wants you to apologize right now on the radio. And Chris and I are getting out of the way. Come on.
When hell freezes over. The Casanova Killer, as he was called, will kill no more. No chance of a parole or an escape for Glenn Rogers. He was executed last night after Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed his death warrant last month. Nearly 3 decades reign of murder across the Sunshine State. The Florida Department of Corrections announced that the 62-year-old Rogers got the needle and was pronounced dead shortly after 6 p.m., and there was relief in the land.
That's one
Rogers
way.
called himself a serial killer. He gave himself the label of serial killer, once claimed to cops that he had killed 70 women. Braggart. He had a habit of meeting women in local bars, charming them and getting them into his car or their car sometimes before he had killed them. Ladies, do not be charmed by good-looking men who will tell you most anything you want to hear.
Amen.
As far as Glenn Rogers, good riddance. Now, if we could just get started on the 121 men and women on death row right here in North Carolina, we could see some progress towards justice. And we have Steve on the line. Is that right?
Yes.
Stephen, what's up?
Hey guys, good morning.
Hey, Steve.
I want to slip in under the wire.
You are.
I got Rayford, I wanted to ask you about something that's totally off all the subjects you talked about this morning.
I don't know anything else.
Oh.
All I know is what I talked about today.
I got you.
Go ahead.
Do you know what cucumber beetles are?
You mean those things that get into the borers type beetles or something else?
They look like orange ladybugs.
No, I don't. Well, I think I know about it, but I didn't know that's what they look like. You got some?
I got you. Man, they all over my cucumbers. I can't seem to get rid of them, and I don't use pesticides or anything.
Okay.
I was hoping
All right.
maybe you cross that bridge.
There is something, and I will have we talk on Monday because I got a 25-pound bag of stuff that's due here tomorrow. I'm supposed to mix it up and spray them. It doesn't hurt anything else, but it puts a coating on your cucumbers, the vines, the squash, the vines. It prevents anything from getting through. You have to put it on there as the cucumbers continue to grow. You got to spray it on there again a little bit, but all you do is wash it off. It does not hurt them. If a dog gets in there and eats the cucumber or whatever, as I saw one dog on TV doing, it doesn't hurt them. But you generally want to wash it off or anything. You should wash your cucumbers before you eat them anyway, because dogs get into stuff and do things.
All vegetables, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, I will have that 25-pound bag. The shipping on it from Arizona is costing me about half as much as the whole bag did. So if that tells you anything.
I got you. Yeah, I've used neem oil, and
yes, I've got some of that. I haven't used
really
it.
work very well for those. It works pretty good for everything else, but those little beetles are persistent.
Yeah, I got some of that, but I think this will take care of the beetle problem because to me, this looked like a one-stop shop, and my wife won't let me use 7 Dust. That's one of those that I kind of would like to use down on the vines, as they go into the ground or come out of the ground, because that's where those borers get in. But I would rather not if I don't have to.
Steve.
Go ahead.
Steve.
I throw mothballs down around my raised beds.
Keeps the moss off.
And that keeps a lot of stuff away for some reason. I don't know what all they're good for, but they seem to keep a lot of stuff away, and it mainly keeps the squirrels off my tomatoes.
Oh, Lord.
Steve,
I got a pellet rifle.
I'm sorry. I'll send you an email later. It's a North Carolina Cooperative Extension, the agricultural section. They have an email that you can actually email them with those questions, and they will email you back with remedies.
Yeah, send me that, because my main thing is I don't want to kill my lizards.
No.
Yeah.
No, they eat mosquitoes and stuff.
They're one of the biggest, helps in the garden I've got, as far as taking care of all them little, aphids and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm in the predicament between something to get rid of them. I have to go out every morning and just pick all the beetles off and take them to the other side of the property and throw them in a bush.
Oh, you're the one out there throwing them out here.
No wonder.
Yeah, I'll get you. You drive down my highway next time, I'll get you.
Oh my gosh.
And the babies look like little yellow furry worms when the eggs hatch.
So cute.
That's the larvae or whatever. It's like a little yellow furry worm looking thing. But
That's a sign of a early winter.
Oh, is it?
once they mature, they turn into it looks like a ladybug, but it's orange with black spots.
There's a rhyme about that too. Okay. All right, Steve, thank you. You playing anywhere this weekend?
Hi, guys. I am. I play tonight at the Emerald Club, and then I do the national anthem at the Carteret County Speedway tomorrow night.
Oh, cool. Good.
Congratulations.
Oh, very good.
Knock 'em dead. Knock
You
'em
were
dead, sir.
playing in Kinston last week?
Yeah, I
And
went up
you
there and played at a
survived?
place called the Bruce, where they're revitalizing downtown or whatever. It's really nice up there. It's, far nicer than I remember Kinston being.
Did you wear body armor? I'm just kidding. Okay.
I'm sorry?
You didn't wear body armor, did you?
No. I had some people ask me about that if I had an escort to take me down there, and it's worth seeing. They definitely dressed the place up. They lit it up a lot.
Good.
They got lights all up and down each side of the street, like tiki lights.
Yeah.
Would be around a tiki bar.
I
And light does a lot to deter crime.
I don't hear they steal the light bulbs in Wilmington if you did that. But I don't hear so much about Kinston anymore. I think they have done a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And you got Greenville and Newbern now to deal with.
Yeah.
And Rocky Mount, I'm seeing so much more of. But anyway.
I think Kinston may have turned a little bit of the corner when
I
they
think
got
so,
that
too.
gang task force.
Yeah.
That they do down there.
That's a big one. Drive them out of town.
All right, guys.
Thank you. Have a good
Y'all
one.
have a
Thank
blessed
you. Have a
weekend.
great
Ray.
weekend.
I'll call you on
Steve.
Monday to find out how that stuff works.
Okay. I should have it in tomorrow, and I will be putting that thing to use. Let you know.
Have a blessed weekend.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Y'all have a good one.
You too, Steve.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you for coming in here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm blessed.
See,
about
it's
one.
always trouble when Chris comes in.
I do.
He brings it with him. That's good. But he bought cookies. He can bring all the
Yeah.
trouble you want.
Yeah.
No, we do
Yeah.
appreciate all of the callers, and I know who you're talking about who called the. And I'm reading the note because I know what you meant when you
Yeah,
wrote that word.
yeah.
But no. If you look at the statute, there is no requirement. Now,
Right.
if you come and you start one, then it's your duty. You've got to maintain it unless you decide at some point in time it's not worth it to the county. The county does not, by statute, by constitutional requirement, have to furnish fire protection.
That's
They
right.
have to they don't have to furnish law enforcement protection. They have to furnish a sheriff's office.
Mhm.
That includes one sheriff.
Mhm.
I think one deputy was included. And they have to, between the two of them, Chris and your chief, you need to be able to take care of all the court duties. You got to have a bailiff in every courtroom when the court's in session.
Right.
You got to take care of all civil processes. You got to serve all the warrants and the civil papers, and you got to keep the jail with two people. That's the constitutional requirement. Okay,
Right.
that's all the county's got to furnish money for. If the county wants law enforcement, they could fund a police department if they want to.
Mm.
It was appropriate, smart to be able to just have a law enforcement arm of the sheriff's office to do law enforcement. And they do it. But he still does the jail and he does the courts. How's that sound?
Right.
Now,
We have the best.
cities, municipalities have something called a charter.
Mm-hmm.
They adopt a charter. In the charter, I'd have to go back in history, but they generally say this is what, if you're going to have a charter, you're going to be able to tax people and you've got to provide a certain level of services. One of those is law enforcement. The other is fire protection. And there are different charters have different requirements.
All right, this is straight from the state's stuff. No, it's not mandatory that a county in North Carolina provide volunteer fire services. While counties in North Carolina are authorized to organize and maintain fire departments, they are not legally required to do so. Local government function. Fire protection is considered a function of local government in North Carolina, counties and municipalities.
If they have
Both
it.
counties and municipalities can provide or contract, no mandate. However, neither counties nor municipalities are legally required to provide these services.
I think you just hit the key word, contract.
Yeah, the charter is one of the things that will
And I
tell
will-
the city what it will do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we're done. See you Monday. I don't have a clue what we're going to do, but I guarantee you
It's
we'll
going to be a
be
busy week.
It'll be a busy weekend because when
I'm going to Emerald this weekend, and then I'm
you
going
got
to go to
a
the meeting.
suppressor that will fit anything that I've got, because all this noise that I'm getting ready to make around here.
Oh yeah.
They call headphones.
I wonder. I got to call my insurance people, find out if big bug holes in my computer is something that they would come under homeowners.
Scrubbing.
Well, you know how to get it scrubbed for free. We've already discussed that this morning. So go ahead and do a post and put it out there. And
Gotcha.
in the meantime, I'm going to Emerald. I'm going to hunt this man down. I am.
So you're going after a former federal agent?
I want to get him to come on the show.
You're going to go after a former. You're going to hunt him.
We listened
Did
to
you
both
use the word
sides.
hunt? When you go hunting something, what do? You shoot it. You kill it some way or
No,
another.
don't be saying that.
That's what you do when you go hunting.
I don't. My
isn't it?
computer does not need to be scrubbed. It's yours, not mine.
Okay, 8647. Y'all, we'll see you on Monday morning.
Have a great weekend.
Great weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.